The 2005 Missouri Tigers overcame adversity to achieve what only two Mizzou teams had done in the past 22 years, finish with a winning record and secure a bowl victory. These Tigers did both under the direction of fifth-year head coach Gary Pinkel and the leadership of quarterback Brad Smith. Number 16 led Mizzou to some of the most memorable wins in recent memory, including a thrilling come-from-behind victory in the 2005 Independence Bowl. The owner of 69 Mizzou, Big 12, and NCAA records became the face of Mizzou football and will be remembered for years to come. Now let's take a look back at the 2005 Missouri Tigers. The Tigers traveled to Arrowhead Stadium for the opener with Arkansas State. It marked the first time in 60 years Mizzou had played a game in Kansas City, and they seemed quite comfortable in the surroundings. As expected, Tiger quarterback Brad Smith delighted fans as Missouri rolled up the yards, rolled up the points, and routed Arkansas State. Mizzou took the ball on its second possession at their own 3-yard line and took charge of the game. Smith hits Chase Kaufman for 16 yards and a first down.
26-yard line. Welcome to Missouri. Chase Kaufman.
Smith took the next snap and delivered a strike to Will Franklin. The pass play picked up 30 yards.
At the issue, 35 to the 30, brought down at the 24-yard line of the Indians.
Marcus Woods capped off the 9-play, 97-yard drive with a 23-yard dash.
It's a 10 to the 5 to the house. Touchdown, Missouri.
Missouri took the lead 7-0. That was the first of many scores before halftime. Later, it's Smith and Franklin hooking up again.
Franklin leaping grab at the 10, brought down inside the Arkansas State 8-yard line.
This play for 22 yards, setting up Tony Temple.
Temple in a running back, Smith keeping it left, pitches it to Temple. Temple turns it upfield at the 7, hit at the 5, spinning. Brought down, no, was not brought down. Touchdown, Missouri.
The running back from Kansas City somehow managed to stay on his feet for 8 yards to give the Tigers a 13-0 lead. Missouri's defense was able to set up the Tigers' next score. David Overstreet picked up an Arkansas State fumble and returned it 18 yards.
35, cuts inside to the 30, tackle from behind at the 27-yard line.
5 plays later, it was Smith shoveling to Franklin.
Smith takes the snap, keeps it to the left side, shovel pass to Franklin, cuts it upfield to the 5, leaps towards the end zone. Touchdown, Missouri.
This hookup good for 6 points and a 19-point lead. Smith's success through the air would open up the ground game, and Temple would take advantage.
To the 30, to the 20, cuts it back left sideline, hurdles at the 15, run out of bounds at the Arkansas State 9-yard line.
Setting up Smith again. Catching Arkansas State off guard. The short pass to Brad Ekwerekwu, and it's 27-0. Mizzou would light up the scoreboard one more time in the first half. It's kicker Adam Crossan from 45 yards out.
Max on his first field goal attempt of the season.
The Tigers led 30-0 at the break in the third quarter. The Tigers picked up where they left off. Smith hit Ekwerekwu for another score.
Missouri, Brad Ekwerekwu.
Then he found Kaufman on his 4th touchdown pass of the game.
Floats it into the end zone, open. Kaufman, touchdown, Missouri. Chase Kaufman, his first collegiate touchdown.
Missouri rolled up more than 650 yards of total offense and rolled over Arkansas State 44-17. An impressive win that showcased an impressive new offense. The Tigers returned to Columbia in week 2 and discovered early in the game they would have their hands full with New Mexico. Missouri battled New Mexico for 4 quarters, but the Lobos came away with a 45-35 victory. The Tigers would bounce back in a big way the following week at the Zoo. Troy was in town and was no match for Mizzou. Barely 3 minutes into the game, the offense was up to its old tricks. Tony Temple broke loose.
Tackle to the 50, to the 45, and Troy to the 40, breaks free. He's going to go. Tony Temple to the house.
59 yards to Pater and a 7-0 lead. About a minute later, it was the special teams getting in on the act.
Blocked. Kick is blocked by Missouri. Quincy Wade blocked it. Quincy Wade out of St. Louis with the block.
Quincy Wade flew in from the right side and almost picked that ball right off the foot of the Troy punter.
That set up an Adam Crossett field goal and a 10-0 lead.
And it is good.
Troy found the end zone, but couldn't find an answer for the Tigers' offense. Smith's 26-yard run highlighted an impressive drive. Then it was Smith firing a strike to Brad Ekwerekwu. The Tigers had the game under control heading to the second half. Missouri's defense showed what it can do in the third quarter. Xavier Jackson recovered a fumble. Smith turned it into a touchdown and a 28-7 lead.
Wanted to shovel it, now keeps it, cuts it up to the 10, to the 5, to the house. Touchdown, Missouri.
Well, he made a great run that time. He got in between two defenders. He saw it, and there was absolutely no hesitation.
13-yard run by Smith. Another one-play drive.
Later in the quarter, Marcus Woods took a Troy punt.
Takes it, comes back left, now cuts it up the middle of the 30, to the 35.
Found a seam.
Room to midfield, he beats the punter, to the 40, to the 30.
And didn't stop until he found the end zone, 73 yards later.
On a punt return by Marcus Woods.
By the time Chase Daniel scored from 1 yard out, the Tigers had improved to 2-1. The men of Troy were no match for the men from Missouri, falling 52-21. The following week, Missouri welcomed the second-ranked Texas Longhorns to town.
Takes the snaps, going to keep it to the right side, turns it up, breaks a tackle, touchdown Missouri. Another house call for Brad Smith.
The eventual national champions pulled away in the second half, recording a 51-20 win over Missouri. A road trip might have been just what the Tigers needed. It was October before Missouri left the state for a matchup with Oklahoma State. The Cowboys claimed an early 3-0 lead, but Missouri took the field for the first time and marched downfield. A 9-play, 67-yard drive. Marcus Woods polished off that drive with a 12-yard run for a score and a 7-3 Tiger advantage.
Boy, I'll tell you what, Marcus Wood dropped his shoulder at the 5-yard line and took two tacklers in there with him.
It was 7-6 after the first quarter. Missouri extended the lead early in the second. Brad Smith shoveled the ball to Woods.
5, touchdown Missouri as he dives into the end zone.
After a nifty cutback, Woods had an 18-yard touchdown and Missouri a 14-6 lead. The Cowboys kicked another field goal. Then it was time for some Tiger tricks. With 30 seconds left in the half, Brad Ekwerekwu does his best Brad Smith imitation and tosses to Sean Coffey for a 30-yard touchdown.
The option pass. He came down the line of scrimmage, pitched it to Ekwerekwu. He stopped. He saw Coffey in the end zone. It was a great pass. Great catch by Coffey.
Tigers 21, Oklahoma State 9 at the half. Early in the third, Adam Crossett increased the lead by 3 with a field goal. Then Marcus Woods was at it again.
Moving to his left, takes it at the 14. Now comes back to the midfield mark. Toward the center of the field.
Already with a touchdown run and a touchdown catch, Woods takes a punt and sprints 76 yards just 5 minutes into the third quarter. Stopped short of the end zone. Jimmy Jackson carried for the touchdown, and Missouri had the game in hand, 31-9.
Hurls a man at the 5, gets into the corner of the end zone. Touchdown, Missouri.
Fending off a Cowboys rally, David Overstreet's late interception locked up the victory, 38-31. And the Tigers were back on track, now 3-2 on the season and 1-1 in the Big 12. Rejuvenated, it was a time for the Tigers to come home and celebrate homecoming at the place where it all began, Old Mizzou. This year, a thrilling win over Iowa State would highlight the festivities. Defense defined much of this game. Missouri's D proved to be its offense early, scoring twice in a 3-play stretch midway through the first quarter.
Dives to the end zone. Touchdown, Missouri, by the native of Hayti, William Moore. A second down and 5 from the Cyclone 25. Harris again running right, gets hit, drops the football, comes free, picked up by Missouri running the left side. To the 5, cuts it inside, touchdown, Xavier Jackson.
Defense, Mike, defense, brother. I'll tell you what, we're banking on the defense. So far, we got 2 touchdowns by the defense. That's okay. Let's keep scoring.
It was 14-0, just 8 minutes into the game. The Cyclones rallied from their early mistakes to take a 24-14 lead early in the fourth quarter. With just under 9 minutes to play and trying to lead a comeback, Brad Smith was knocked out of the game by Cyclone linebacker Tim Dobbins.
I mean, I grimaced honestly, when he was hit. It was that bad.
A Missouri comeback would now have to come without its best player. But backup quarterback Chase Daniel was ready for the opportunity. Daniel picked apart the Cyclone defense and completed 5 passes to move into field goal range for Adam Crossett. Missouri's defense forced the Cyclones to give the ball back at the 2.5-minute mark, and Daniel again picked apart the Iowa State D. First on a 20-yard completion to Sean Coffey.
Daniel takes the snap, slant pattern, caught by Coffey, first down to the 25 to the 30.
14 more yards to Chase Kaufman.
Over the middle, Kaufman open at the 35, turns it upfield, gets hit at the 40.
The freshman hits Coffey again, this time inside the 5 with 30 seconds left on the clock.
Missouri at the 4.
The biggest, of course, this 4-yard touchdown strike to Coffey with just 20 seconds left to play in the game.
He was able to straddle the back line.
Great catch by Coffey to get that foot down. It was a clean catch, a big catch.
Iowa State took possession first in the overtime, but was unable to convert. Brett Culberson's 43-yard field goal was wide right.
Tigers get the ball back.
The Tigers gave their kicker a closer look.
Trying to victimize the Cyclones again. This will be a 27-yard attempt from the middle of the field. Ekwu to hold, Stephen Blair to snap. Good snap, good place. Kick is up. It is long enough, and it is. A winner for Missouri. Crossett sprints to the south end of the field. Tigers come back from down 10. They come back without Brad Smith.
It was the second year in a row the Tigers beat the Cyclones in overtime, as Missouri improved to 4-2 on the season. Nebraska came to Faurot Field the following week, looking like Husker teams of old. At 5-1, Big Red had visions of returning to the top of the Big 12 Conference. By the time they left Columbia, though, all they were left with were nightmarish visions of Brad Smith. The Tigers quarterback returned to action and looked better than ever. Smith used his arm to help Missouri score first, connecting on a huge 50-yard gain with Brad Ekwu, which led to this 15-yard touchdown pass that would end up in the hands of Tommy Saunders.
Ball was popped free and caught by a second Missouri offensive player, Tommy Saunders.
Hey, you remember that Nebraska play, that kick play in that north end zone? Almost just like it, only the ball popped free, and then Tommy Saunders got it.
On Missouri's next possession, it was Smith on his feet, breaking loose for a 53-yard gain.
It's a foot race. Smith to the 30, to the 25, run down from behind at about the 16-yard line.
To set up another score.
Snap, keeps it running left, wide open, gets hit at the 2, touchdown Missouri. Tiedtke hit him at the 2, but Smith lowered the shoulder and rambled into the end zone. Brad Smith with his 8th rushing touchdown.
Nebraska put 3 on the board. Then Smith went right back to work. Finding room up the middle, Smith ran away from a Huskers defense that was leading the nation against the run.
Touchdown Missouri, one play, 79 yards.
But Nebraska didn't buckle. On its next possession, Zach Taylor hit Todd Peterson on a 34-yard strike. It was 21-10 with 2 minutes left to go in the first quarter. After a Crossett field goal made it 24-10, Nebraska answered with back-to-back touchdowns before the break. This Zach Taylor pass to Nate Swift tied the game at 24, heading into the half. Missouri's lead was gone, and the Tigers looked to regain some magic in the third. Smith found running room again, this time blitzing the Huskers for 45 more yards and another score. Smith accounted for a school record 480 total yards of offense, 4 scores, and became Division I's first player to record more than 230 yards of rushing and passing in the same game. When Tony Temple carried the ball over the goal line from 14 yards out in the fourth quarter, Missouri had safely put away Nebraska for the second time in a row in Columbia, for the first time in nearly 45 years. Fans celebrated another great win, and head coach Gary Pinkel recorded career win number 100. At 3-1 in the conference, a Big 12 North Division title was within reach, but Missouri would have to survive 2 straight road games, something the Tigers couldn't do, losing against KU in Lawrence 13-3, then losing to Colorado 38-12 in Boulder.
Back left, breaks a tackle at the 2, touchdown. Colorado, the 4th rushing touchdown of the day for Lawrence Vickers.
At 5-4 and needing to get back in the winner's circle, Missouri was back at Faurot Field, looking for that all-important 6th win and bowl eligibility. Senior Day was a chance to say goodbye to one of the best Tigers of all time and witness one more show from Brad Smith. It was another senior making something happen in the first quarter. Marcus King picked off a Terrence Parks pass and took it 32 yards to the house for a 7-0 lead.
He jumped the coverage and took it to the house.
When Smith and the offense got the ball again, they started eating up yards. This 20-yard completion to Martin Rucker put the ball at the 11th. 3 plays later, Smith called his own number. Mizzou had a 2-touchdown lead.
And the Tigers break on top 13-0 here early in the second quarter.
Still in the second quarter, it was another electrifying highlight from Smith.
The middle comes across the 45 to midfield to the Baylor 45, breaks the tackle to the 35 to the 30. Brad Smith's going to go. Touchdown, Missouri. Another house call for Brad Smith.
With 6 minutes left in the third quarter, Mizzou place kicker Adam Crossett showed some range, connecting on a 49-yard field goal. The lead grew to 24. Baylor looked down, but not out. The Bears rattled off 16 straight points. Sean Bell's 16-yard touchdown pass to Carl Sims midway through the fourth quarter made it 24-16. But 2 minutes later, Smith was at it again.
Side of the field, takes the snap, keeps it himself, has the first down, bounces the right side across midfield, breaks the tackle 40 to the 35, right sideline 20, 15, 10, stiff arms a man, touchdown Missouri. Has he got the ball over the plane? The Tigers, Brad Smith, that's it, takes it to the house, and Missouri extends the advantage.
Running into the end zone and into the record books, the Tigers beat the Bears 31-14. And the superstar quarterback says goodbye to the Columbia crowd with school records for scoring and rushing touchdowns. Smith also became the first player in Division I AA history to throw for 8,000 yards and rush for 4,000 yards in a career. As a highlight video tribute to number 16 proclaimed, Brad Smith was simply the best. The Tigers would close out the regular season with a trip to Manhattan and the final game for Kansas State's retiring head coach Bill Snyder.
Side Temple offset to his right, fakes the zone play, looking left, fade pattern into the end zone for Rucker, jump ball, Rucker gets his hands on the football, touchdown Missouri, T. Rucker's first touchdown of the season.
K-State held on for a hard-fought 36-28 victory. At 6-5, the Tigers would go home and wait for their second bowl invitation in the last 3 years. Mizzou's second bowl game under Gary Pinkel was a familiar sight. This Independence Bowl would be a showdown with South Carolina and legendary head coach Steve Spurrier. And it turned out to be one of the most memorable games in Missouri football history. South Carolina's offense looked unstoppable on its first possession. Blake Mitchell hit Sidney Rice for a 23-yard score to cap an 80-yard drive to open the game.
Carolina wastes little time in getting on the scoreboard here in Shreveport.
On Missouri's first play from scrimmage, Lance Laurie forced Tony Temple to fumble, and Ricardo Hurley recovered. The Gamecocks were back on the offense. 4 plays later, it's Davis from 5 yards out. 5 minutes in, and Missouri is already down 2 touchdowns. Following a Tiger punt, South Carolina was on the move again. Mitchell found Rice for 16 yards.
28 as he burned Marcus King on the cover.
2 plays later, it was back to the air. And an open Carson Askins for 20 yards and a touchdown.
To the house, touchdown South Carolina.
Missouri had run just 4 plays on offense and trailed 21-0. Late in the first quarter, the Tigers started moving the chains. But after a pair of first downs, there would be more trouble. Smith was picked off by Jordan Lindsay, and a scoring opportunity was gone. Midway through the second quarter, the Tigers were desperate for something to happen, and Marcus King came through. With South Carolina on the doorstep, King picked off a Mitchell pass at the Missouri 1-yard line and was off to the races.
To the 30, to the 25, cuts it inside 20, to the 10, to the 5, touchdown, Marcus King. His second interception return for a touchdown, this one, 98 yards.
The Tigers were finally on the board, and King was in the record books. The 99-yard interception return for a score was the longest in school history and set an NCAA Division I bowl game record. But before King could catch his breath, Mitchell and the Gamecocks were moving into Missouri territory again. It's Mitchell and Rice on an 18-yard gain, then a 26-yard play.
10 from the Tiger, 28, pressure front side, throw it deep over the middle, leaping grab Rice at the 10, running to the right side, breaks the tackle at the 6, hit at the 5, and dropped at the 1.
Davis took it in from there, and the South Carolina lead was 3 touchdowns again, 28-7. The Tigers went to the 2-minute offense to end the half, and Smith led an impressive march.
To the 40, to the 45, brought down at the Carolina 48-yard line. From the shotgun, Smith, pressure up the middle, picked up, now throws it, caught by Franklin at the 20, breaks a tackle, left side to the 15, to the 10, to the 5, he's flushed out of bounds.
With just 20 seconds left in the half, Smith found freshman Chase Kaufman in the end zone. Kaufman's 8 catches for 99 yards, and this score put an exclamation point on his freshman All-American season. Though the Tigers trailed by 2 scores at the half, they took momentum into the locker room with them and brought it out in the third quarter, picking apart South Carolina and moving the ball downfield with a purpose. Then surprising the Gamecocks with a fake field goal.
Good snap, good place. Now they fake it to Rucker, running left side, has the first down to the 10, to the 5, gets tackled at the 1-yard line. It'll be 1st and goal, Missouri.
But an 18-play, 8-minute drive stalled out at the South Carolina 5-yard line with a missed 22-yard field goal attempt.
7 minutes to go in the third. The Tigers drive it, but can't put any points on the board.
After a South Carolina punt, Smith had the offense moving, tossing to Kaufman for a big 30-yard gain to move across midfield. 3 plays later, covering the yards with his feet, scrambling 32 yards to Pater.
To the 10, cuts it left side at the 5, into the end zone. Touchdown, Brad Smith.
With just under 3 minutes to play in the third, the Tigers were within a touchdown at 28-21. Mizzou clearly had taken control of the game and had South Carolina rattled. King deflected a Mitchell pass, and Derek Ming picked it off with 1:30 to go in the third.
King with the great defense. It came off the deflection, and Ming, the senior linebacker, was right there, and the Tigers have the ball back.
Smith and company took advantage. First on a completion to Will Franklin.
Linebacker unloads it on the sideline. Franklin at the 28, steps out of bounds at the 24-yard line.
On the first play of the fourth quarter, a huge gain on 3rd and 21. Smith to Rucker.
Bounces off a tackler at the 6, fights for yardage, gets to the 4-yard line.
Facing 4th and 2, a gutsy call ends with Smith in the end zone.
Okay, you put it in, you know what? You put it in your best player's hands, and at that time Smith went right up the middle, untouched.
The comeback was complete, and the game was tied at 28 apiece. Meanwhile, the South Carolina offense was struggling. Taking possession on their own 26, the Gamecocks moved backward to their own 3 before punting the ball away. It didn't take much for the Tigers to move back into scoring position when Adam Crossett made good on a 50-yard field goal. Missouri had its first lead of the game, 31-28, with 10 minutes to play. South Carolina could have buckled, but didn't. Josh Brown capped the 13-play drive with a game-tying field goal when the Tigers got the ball back at the 4-minute mark. Brad Smith left little doubt who was the best player on the field. The senior broke free on a 59-yard dash to the Carolina 18-yard line.
With the angle, runs him out of bounds at the 19.
4 plays later, Smith was back in the end zone, and with just over 2 minutes to play, the Tigers had reclaimed the lead, 38-31. Darnell Terrell intercepted a Mitchell pass with 1.5 minutes left on the clock, and Missouri had won a thriller, 38-31.
Back at the 31-yard line.
Well, that should end the game.
That's it, brother.
With 1 timeout, that should be all she wrote, Mike. There's no reason Missouri should lose this game now with 1 timeout for South Carolina left.
Erasing the 21-point deficit made this the greatest comeback in Missouri and Independence Bowl history, and brought to an end the career of one of the greatest players in college football. Brad Smith was named the offensive MVP after tying 4 bowl records and tying or setting 6 more school records. The Missouri Tigers were the 2005 Independence Bowl champions. What a way to end an exciting season and usher in 2006. The Tigers were bowl champions for only the 2nd time in 22 years. Thrilling victories over Nebraska, Iowa State, and South Carolina highlighted a spectacular season for Mizzou. But the future looks even brighter. A battle-tested defense and dynamic playmakers on offense return for the Tigers next season. A schedule that features home contests at Faurot Field, against the SEC's Ole Miss Rebels, defending Big 12 North champion Colorado, Holiday Bowl winner Oklahoma, and a season-ending border showdown with the arch-rival Kansas Jayhawks. After a great season and a bowl championship, it's clear to see Mizzou football is on the move.